I'm back with another case.
Yo.
So I've done this twice already. Let's see how it turns out this time. Hopefully I don't run out of space again. So the case that we are doing today is the Wendy Jo Halison case. Wendy grew up in Los Angeles, California with her parents, her sister Linda, and their family dog Pierre. Her mother stayed at home while her father worked in real estate, and Wendy herself attended university, and she was really smart and pretty, and she was just a really beautiful young woman. She had a lot going for her. In September 1968, Wendy called her sister Linda to come and buy a hairdryer that was on sale at the local thrifty store. But Linda said that she couldn't because she wanted to stay home and spend time with her family. And yeah, I'm not sure if she was married or if she just had a partner, but yeah, they had 2 boys and she just wanted to stay home and spend time together. So 22-year-old Wendy went to the thrifty store and then headed to fill her car up at the gas station, which was down the road from their house. A few hours had passed, and when Wendy didn't return home, everyone started to get a little bit worried, and Wendy's mum actually called the police to put in a missing persons report. But unfortunately, police told her that it was too early to put in a missing persons report and that she would have to wait till morning. So instead of waiting, they decided to search on their own. Now, at the time, Gil, who was Wendy's brother-in-law, was a private investigator. So he and some friends started searching as well, and Gil actually hired a helicopter so they could scout over the area and see if they could find her car or anything else that could help them locate her. An hour into the search the next morning, Wendy's boyfriend pointed out her green Thunderbird car from the helicopter. It was parked on Fairfax Avenue, which wasn't far from their house. Now, when they got down there to go and look through the car, some sources say that Linda found the keys, some say that Gil found the keys, but whoever found the keys opened the trunk and found Wendy's body. She had all of her jewelry with her. Nothing was stolen other than the hairdryer that she'd just purchased. Later on, investigators determined that Wendy was sexually assaulted and she was strangled. The rope that was used to kill her was found at the scene. Detectives believe that she fought her attacker off because all of her nails were broken. Police immediately went with the idea that it was someone that she knew. They focused on 4 men who Wendy knew well: her boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, Gil, the brother-in-law, and one other friend. So the boyfriend stood out immediately sort of thing because of the fact that he was the one who spotted her car and he'd seen it so quickly from the helicopter. Even the pilot said that he has no idea how he saw that car from where they were flying. So that made it very suspicious. So they gave him a polygraph test. If you don't know, it's just a lie detector test, and he failed. So that made him even more suspicious. Gil also took a polygraph test as soon as he could, so police could eliminate him as a suspect and move on with the case sort of thing and get him out of the way in that aspect. He said that he understood why detectives were looking into the men close to her and that he felt like it was someone that she knew also because apparently he said that strangulation is a personal thing. So the only real clue that police had was that there was a white man seen at both the drugstore that Wendy went to and the gas station. But the case pretty much went cold from there. Years passed with no progression at all. It wasn't till 3 decades that Harry Clan Jr. He was a criminalist with the LAPD, got involved. So in 1998, the LAPD, or Los Angeles Police Department, started using DNA evidence in their cases. So a colleague found a semen sample on Wendy's pants and her underwear. There was just enough to analyze it, hoping to produce a lead. The 4 men who were originally suspects were obviously called in and they got all their bloods taken and all these tests run to hope that they could match the 2, but they couldn't. It came back with nothing. So all the 4 men were let off. But even though this was disappointing, it was kind of a good thing because it meant that they can close the door on those suspects. So the case stalled again as the DNA samples that they had at the time were too small to run through the national and state database. Obviously, Wendy's death devastated their family. Gil wouldn't drive down Fairfax Avenue anymore for a very long time. Her father would go into the police station all the time and ask about new leads and if anything had been found. And finally, in 2016, the LAPD were able to run the DNA sample through a national database. And the technology had just gotten so much better that they didn't need as much of a sample to run it through now. And finally, they had a match. Edwin Dean Richardson. His criminal record started in his childhood, from burglaries and thefts to more violent crimes. And then in San Diego, 1960, he was arrested and put in prison for 8 years for attempted robbery and kidnapping. But he was let out in April 1968, which was the same year that Wendy was found murdered. In Ohio, 1981, he ended up back in prison after killing 21-year-old Joanna Bowner. His criminal record also had the murder of Marla Jean Hayes, the kidnapping of 2 girls, and so many other crimes. In 2006, Edwin was sentenced to life in prison. And at the time, he was 70 years old and he was suffering from emphysema. So I'm sorry, but he's basically lived a majority of his life, except for a few years here and there, free for all these crimes that he's did. And, but Edwin died in 2013, 3 years before his DNA identified him. So the case was solved 48 years later, but Edwin could never say that yes, he did it or no, he didn't do it. But they have linked him to several other murders and they think that he was responsible for them. And a few other things as well. There was another woman that I can't remember if she went missing or if she was murdered, and she was taken from the same store that Wendy was at just a year later. And it was the oldest case that the LAPD had ever solved. So that's a pretty good thing, and at least they solved it. But still, yeah, hopefully that now the family knows who did it, there's closure. But he's never actually paid for that crime. Yes, he's paid for other crimes, not really, but that particular crime he never really paid for, in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Leave me some comments on some other cases that you want to see, or just other things in general. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll see me next week. Bye guys.
Welcome to my dark side. Ooh.